Who day and night must take an OxyContin, chase it with Neurontin and a Xanax too. And who do you know thinks Vicodin's a food group? Maybe this postmenopausal Jew. Addictions, 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 oy, 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 oy. Addictions. Who must know the way to make martinis dry? Long Island tea, just keep me high. Nitrous in the dentist chair'll work just fine. I see God when there's a jug of wine. Addictions, addictions, ay, 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 ay. Addictions, addictions, I love them, ay, 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 ay. Addictions. This is a before and after story. But first, let me tell you who I am. I am a woman, a wife, a mom, a sister, a daughter, a cantor, a singer-songwriter, and a published author. Oh, I'm also a recovering alcoholic and pain pill addict. So how are you? The story before, way before I even knew what addiction was. I went blindly through my childhood and early teens. I recall that it may have started on Passover with my first taste of Manischewitz wine, that sweet, syrupy suggestion of nirvana. Maybe it was the first time I smoked pot in Flo Wiener's bedroom. I thought I'd get high right away. Nothing. Nada. So I took another hit, and the same thing happened. And she said, jump up and down, jump up and down. And so I jumped up and down, and I looked ridiculous. But I started to feel a little tiny buzz, and then I was off and running like a racehorse right out of the gate. Full speed ahead to anything and everything I could find not to feel. My mom worked for Weight Watchers, and of course, food became an issue. Counting calories, buying frozen dinners. When I was a kid, The Name Game by Shirley Ellis was a big hit, and so was I. In school, as I heard, Patti, Patti, Bo Batty, Bo Nana Fana, Fo Fatty, Fee Five, Mo Matty, Patti. I covered the pain with food, diets, pot, and alcohol. I hadn't found pills yet. I especially remember the infamous night when my college roommate Margie and I had been on every diet imaginable. Weight Watchers, Atkins, peeing on a stick, you name it. One depressed night, we went over to our dealer's home, which was up the street. We smoked a joint and then promptly got into our car and went to Farm Stores, this small, cute drive-through market. We bought a dozen Entenmann's powdered sugar donuts and a quart of milk, which we completely finished on our way to Bogart's, an all-night market. Being conscious of my diet, I bought Dannon frozen yogurt bars. Margie bought low-fat chips. We decided also to buy, just in case of an emergency, a frozen Pepperidge Farm coconut cake. Arriving at our apartment, convinced we'd stay healthy, we commenced on our mini binge. However, that moist frozen coconut cake was already defrosting, and we vowed just to share one small tiny piece. Later that night, our other roommate Jackie came home from her gig to find us passed out on our floor with our hands still in the cake. And there you have it, the insanity of addiction. The right out of college marriage to a rabbi, moving across country to get as far away from my mother as possible. The mother who always said, "You're God's perfect child," leaving out the one important phrase, "with your imperfections," which would have changed my life. But being married to a rabbi did have its perks, at least for the 2 years and 9 months that we were married. My cocaine dealer was a member of the congregation. The coke was free until it wasn't. I was never thinner. And let's not forget the open bars at the bar and bat mitzvah receptions where I downed 3 scotches and didn't feel a thing. Good times. I always drank socially until I didn't. I always took medication as prescribed until I didn't. I invented reasons for little surgeries to get pain pills until I found myself ordering drugs on the internet. And that's where the rubber hit the road. All the while, I was trying to hold down this high-profile, respected position as a cantor of a large congregation in the San Fernando Valley. It was a duplicitous life I led. I became expert at figuring out just how much Vicodin I needed to take before a service so my vocal cords could still phonate. A snapshot of my alcoholic bottom and drug-addicted bottom is one I will never forget. We were having a garage sale, and I took my medications, which consisted of Vicodin, Valium, and other pharmaceuticals I can't even remember. I was going to be all that, crushing the garage sale and making a ton of money. We set everything up outside, and I had to go back into the house for something I can't quite remember. I also didn't remember that I had taken the pills before, and so I took another dose. But this time, instead of downing it with apple juice, I downed it with a swig of Chardonnay. I never made it back to the garage sale. My nanny found me slumped over on the computer table. I mean, who wouldn't be like that in an overdose? My kids were panicking as she tried to walk me around. My older daughter had to call 911 as my younger daughter held onto our nanny for dear life. The paramedics arrived, and as I was being put on the gurney, I could hear my kids crying through our living room windows with their noses pushed up against them and their hands reaching to me, saying, "Mommy, please don't die." The disease of alcoholism can come between the love of a mother and a child, a spouse, a profession, or a friend. I was fortunate to begin my recovery and later go into a rehab facility in Malibu for a month to get more tools. My amazing and angry husband kept our family together. So, here's the after story. By the grace of God, I am on this day sober 10 years and 4 months. I look at my face in the mirror and see a renewed woman who has experienced a reawakening of her spirit, self-esteem, and dignity. I treasure the reunion of my family, the rebuilding and repairing of absolute trust of those for whom I couldn't show up. Our once frayed tapestry of life is now the fabric repaired. On this day, I am addicted to my sobriety.